Excellent. Welcome all to the FITBANKER Challenge Masterclass. My name is Ronnie, and who you see and who you have on screen is also me and my transformation journey. Welcome to the guests that we have on live, and you might be joining this as well on recording if you didn't join our live session. But this is a masterclass for you to find out about what the FITBANKER Challenge is. For the benefit of our attendees who are on live, we will, if there are any questions you have, Marine and anybody else joining on live, feel free to ask, feel free to raise your virtual hand. There should be a button that raise your virtual hand. But what is this? What is a FITBANKER Challenge Masterclass? Well, it's an opportunity for you to find out about the science of transformative health, which is a term that we've coined based on the design and nature of our program. And it's also sharing my journey and my backstory as to why we do what we do and why I have skin in the game. There will be a couple of slides where I will look for your participation. I will look for you to respond to or share, your answer to certain questions. And so please do participate freely. And the human mind, what we're doing in this program is we're working on behavioral change. We do use a lot of science. We do use a lot of science from the world of nutrition, from exercise, from mindset coaching, and we're working on three main relationships on this program. We're working on your relationship to food, your relationship to exercise, and ultimately your relationship to yourself. And by relationship to yourself, we're working on, effectively what we're doing is behavioral change. So we're changing the behavior, which is the way we have conducted and run our lifestyle in a certain set way, is only a way we've been raised or conditioned, or we do what everybody around us does. And in my case, the image on the left, that's me as a successful banker. I was vice president with JP Morgan. I was a fat banker, 108 kg, 41-inch waist size. And I continued to think I was fine, I was okay for as long as I could get around doing certain things, as much as I could. And the human mind has zero impetus, which means zero incentive to transform unless we're aware of the impact of staying the same. And I didn't get the impact till a particular eventful night where I ended up hospitalized. I'm going to share that with you. And my after photo, I've transformed and lost 70 pounds, and I'll share a bit more of what I gained through that. But what we have on slide right now is my wife and I, Dr. Ambika Sampath, who you connected with early on, received you when you joined the masterclass, and myself. And as an organization, we decided to create a mission-based organization. We've both left our jobs in the city. I was working in banking with JP Morgan. She was working for a social impact investment fund called Acumen. And why we exist, FITBANKER exists to empower humanity to live a life of optimal health through lifestyle education that lasts a lifetime. And we're on a mission to transform 1 billion lives. Now, why do I say that? We would love for this education to be mainstream. We would love for this education to be global. We would love for this education to be in schools, in universities, in corporates, and in families at home, that we talk about this and we learn how to really fuel our body, fuel our mind, and understand how to operate and make choices around food choices, exercise choices, activity choices, even lifestyle and livelihood choices. The thing we do for our livelihood is what we want to re-evaluate. Is the current livelihood or job or career that I'm doing serving me and contributing to my well-being? If there's anything you see here that you like, you can screenshot it. You can tag me on Instagram or DM me on Instagram like you did. Thanks for reaching out, and great to have you on today's session, Marine. Or Ambika at Dr.Ambika Sampath. Would be great to connect with you there as well, so you can see how we live our lifestyle, and what we are sharing and inviting people to take on is something that we live by. Now, why do you exist? That's the question we ask people. Why are you here? And if you want to transform your health or transform your life, to be more specific, why? What is it that you will get to be? Who will benefit by you having transformed? And so, first of all, the definition of a fit banker is it's not just for bankers. It's not just for people that work in a job called a banker, but it's for people that bank on their fitness. And they do that because they know others bank on them too. So I had to realize, and I realized the hard way, who banks on me and what do they bank on me for? So, I will share, and I'd love for you to share, Marine, who banks on you and what do they bank on you for? And in my case, who banks on me is my wife, my kids, my parents bank on me, my brothers bank on me, my coaches within FitBanker bank on me, clients bank on me, the person that works around the corner selling groceries in the convenience store, they bank on me showing up and me being the best version of myself, me being a contributor to society. The citizens of my town bank on me, my country banks on me. So I choose to live a life where I want to really make a difference to my country, globally. As a leader, I want to inspire people into well-being, and the way I show up every day really matters. They bank on me showing up. And what do they bank on me for? Many people bank on me for as a provider, in that I am taking care of providing from house, a home, provisions at home, their salaries, their employment, but also giving and contributing in society and business, where I contribute to society by what I spend in them and uplift the economy, and we create this interdependency of human beings, citizenry within a town, within a city, within a country. That's what they bank on me for. I think the world banks on me because I'm committed to inspiring people with this education. And I really want to make sure that I manage and maintain my well-being at a level that allows me to be that kind of a person, be that kind of a being. So I'm going to pause here now, and I'm going to pose this question to you. Marine, who banks on you and what do they bank on you for?
No, the same way you are explaining for yourself, it's true. It is
Mm-hmm.
like that. We are like with the children and with the family, with the society, environment, community. It's just like that, same way.
Mm-hmm. And what is
That's
it?
true.
What is it you do, if you don't mind me asking, in terms of what you do as livelihood, and have you got any family?
Yes, yes, yes. I am married. I am married for 15 years. And then I have three kids.
Awesome.
And then one is 14-year-old, one is 13-year-old. And then I have a daughter, 7-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just basically a housewife and just running with the kids with their routine, with the pickups and drop offs, and taking them like where like for activities and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And
Yes,
so you really get, like, if you were to get your well-being optimized, like all these activities, all these tasks, all these actions, all these responsibilities that you have, they're all completely dependent on you for them.
yes, yes, true.
Awesome. Now, the reason why we want people to get that clear is to understand that actually other people do bank on our fitness. I'm going to share how I discovered that and the hard way in 2013, actually. But, it took me a year of studying, research, exploring what to do. And in 2014, I took on my well-being. And 7 months later, that was my transformation. And when I say 7 months later, it's important that we take note of that, because you've joined a masterclass to learn about a 90-day program. And this 90-day program is about learning certain principles that we embed into our routine and our lifestyle. And we do ask people to repeat that cycle 3 times at least. So to do 3 challenges back to back, and to incentivize or encourage people to do so, you can anchor from as little as £70 a month, but it works out to £210 for the full package. So that said, we would love to. I'll share my story of how I went from being a fat banker to fit banker. Lost 70 pounds in the journey, which is 32 kgs, 9 inches off my waist size. I've gained a lot of confidence. I've gained a lot of energy. I've gained strength. I've gained a livelihood. I get to do this. I've left banking at JP Morgan, which is a beautiful job and a great salary. And I get to do this now. And I get to travel the world globally, climb mountains, organize retreats and events. And I've gained a growing, inspiring, and empowering community of coaches and participants globally, doing what I get to do in service through FitBanker. Now,
Hmm.
this is
No,
me
it's
as
really amazing transformation, really.
no, thank you. And I would love for you
Yeah.
to create your story, and I will share stories of other people who've done the program, and what they've been able to achieve as well. So that was me as a fat banker. That was me
Yeah, no,
learning
it's really
a lot.
inspiring.
what I thought was the definition of success was this guy is a fat banker, eating out, drinking out, going out for events. That's me at an event where I was giving a speech. I was best man at that wedding. This is me at, also still living life while I was overweight, but I was doing this as some form of denial, some form of defense mechanism, subconsciously, not intentionally. And before people could talk to me about my health and that I needed support with my health, what I would do is I would show to the world, look, I can still go out and party. I can still go out and climb Mount Kilimanjaro, which I first did when I was 103 kg. And there's me coming out of a beach in New Zealand doing what I call the Daniel Craig pose. And I'm doing the Daniel Craig pose because I'm making fun of myself. I'm using self-deprecating humor and joking about myself. And when we do that about ourselves, we tend to protect ourselves from other people commenting or opining, giving their opinion on our physique, on our health, on our well-being. And we do this subconsciously. I didn't know that I'm consciously showing myself as confident and okay with my body, but it was a way of protecting myself so that people don't talk about me or attack me about my shape, my physique, and so on. And living that life of success. This is a photo from Edinburgh, a festival called the Fringe Festival, which happens every year during the month of August, for the whole month of August. And the Fringe Festival is where people go to experience performances, drama, artists, circus, comedy, stand-up, and so on. And living that life and doing that, life of success. While we were there, it was actually Ambika's birthday. It was our first celebration after we got married. And after we got married, this was our first break, and we found out that at that point, we were actually pregnant, and in Edinburgh was going to be the 3-month mark. So I thought, perfect place for us to take our scan and share with the world that we're going to become parents. And while we were there, up in Edinburgh, ready to celebrate, we'd driven up from London. All was looking well and beautiful, and this beautiful, bright future lay ahead for me. Suddenly what happened is we had a miscarriage. And as we had a miscarriage, of course, it was a crushing moment for Ambika. It was a crushing moment for me. I've not been in a position where, I have to process loss of a child that we were expecting. And also I've not been in the process where I have to deal with a grieving mom. And mom has lost a child, and Ambika was completely bawling her eyes out. Ambika's completely hurt and crushed. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why doesn't she just get over it? Like, can you stop crying? And we were alone in a hotel room, and in trying to calm her down and stop her from crying, it just got worse. It escalated into a heated debate, and that heated debate led to a lot of stress between the two of us. And with that stress between the two of us, I ended up getting these heart palpitations. And as I got these heart palpitations, the following day, on the way back to London, I wound up in hospital. And this is me in hospital, and this is the moment I realized that people bank on my fitness. I'm lying there, blood tests are being conducted, ECG test is being conducted. My wife is sat on a chair next to me, and I remember it's about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm saying to her, and I'm thinking to myself, I see her dozing off on the chair, and I'm like, why are you waiting here? Go home and sleep in a proper bed. Come back tomorrow morning, Ambi, I'm sure everything will be okay. And she just snapped at me. She goes, there's no way I'm waking up tomorrow having lost another one. And it hit me for the first time that here I am going through life, eating what I want, drinking what I want, partying what I want, working the hours I want, thinking I've got to keep doing the work thing. And work comes with all these social agreements. And for as long as I do that, and I provide rent for the home and money for the home, my job is done. But I didn't know that was a completely incorrect misunderstanding of life. And I ended up being stressed from this event. I had no idea about how my body ran or what was my heart and my cardiovascular system and how that operated. And from this stress, I ended up in hospital. And I'm in hospital thinking to myself, how have I wound up here? I'm 33 years old at the time. And I should have been, I don't want to grow up being like I've seen my dad and my uncles, always going to the doctor for visits, always on medication, every year giving them a pill box of new pills and so on. And I realized it was time for me to turn that around and transform that. So while we lost our little one, it was the birth of my interest in understanding nutrition, understanding exercise, understanding how to do fat loss and build muscle. And I started to implement all that I learned. And as I started to implement all that I learned, I saw on social media this competition. I threw myself in. I put my before photo on the left, and fast forward 90 days, photo on the right is my transformation. I went from 108 kg at my heaviest. By this time, I'd lost already about 20 kg from my heaviest, about 16, 17 kg actually through my own program. And then on this program, I further leaned up and I got down to 79, and I further went down to 75, 76 kg. And this is me at 11.3% body fat. And that was the birth of FitBanker as an organization. And since we've launched, we've had people from all walks of life in the top left and bottom. Those are doctors on the left side. That's a GP from San Francisco. Those are urologists from Orlando, Florida. They're doctors and they signed up to my program. And I thought, how are you guys signing up to my program? You guys should know all this. In the top right corner is a lady called Ellie, who lost 11.3 kg on a program. Then she went on to lose 20 kg. And at the top, we're saying, what's possible for you? So question for you to think about is, what would be possible, Marine, if you got to transform and you got to get into peak state, not just physically how you look, not just appearance, but peak body, peak mind, mentally be there, emotionally be fit, and also, with the intellectual knowledge of this program and well-being. And the bottom right is Urvi. She's also from Nairobi, Kenya. You might know her. She is somebody who has inspired many people, including Poonam and many others who have taken on the FitBanker Challenge. And taking that on, she's gone on to inspire close to 200 people who have done the FitBanker Challenge globally. In the center is, bottom is my dad. And dad took on this program at the age of 70. And he was on cholesterol statins, high BP medication. He does the program. And after 4.5 months, he lost 14.5 kg. Today, or up to 2 years ago, he went on to lose 30 kg in weight from his heaviest. He got ready for Mount Kilimanjaro. And in beginning 21, we went to Mount Kilimanjaro at 76. He's probably the oldest Zambian to attempt Mount Kilimanjaro. He's now 78, and he gets to be around with his kids. He gets to be a grandparent living this life. And the top is also Simran, somebody who did our program, lost 20 kg in preparation for Kilimanjaro, and gets to go to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. These are all stories of what people get to do after their after photo, after they've transformed. In my case, I have no background in sport or adventure. And today I'm the only Zambian to summit Mount Kilimanjaro 8 times. When my boy was 3 years old, I took him up Mount Kilimanjaro to 4,000 meters. This is me and him at the Horombo Hut at 3,720 meters. And we're now hoping to go again. This year I'll be going with another group, and I'll be taking as well my son at some point this year to the summit. This is me with the president of Zambia being recognized and acknowledged for reaching the top. And it's an example of what's possible when we really put our optimize our well-being, prioritize our well-being, and we get to really discover what happens after that. Like I said, Dad, it might look like he's lost 30 kg, but that's not the result of the life you get to live. The life you get to live is he gets to be more granddad. He gets to grow up with his grandkids. This is something completely unimaginable by him. He didn't have his granddad. He didn't grow up with his grandfather. I didn't grow up with my grandparents. I have no idea what it is to be growing up and living with your grandparents. But now my kids do. Now I get to see my dad be a grandparent with his grandkids, and he's active, he's busy, he's entrepreneurially present and there for them. Now, how do we do this? And I want you to learn that what we're talking about is not just about physical activity and nutrition. Most people think, how is your health? And we talk about whether we're walking or exercising or what are we eating or not eating. And both you and your son are keen, and we've had as young as a 13-year-old do the program and as old as 81-year-old. He's now 83, the person that did our program. And we focus on 6 pillars, which is physical activity, nutrition, sleep, mind-body connection, social connection, alignment with purpose, and authentic nature. By that I mean, are you doing a job or livelihood that matches your nature so you don't have to force results? You don't have to overwork or work hard or long hours to yield a result. If you do what you enjoy, it doesn't feel like work. Like I've come now, I said, from a school, there's a fundraising event happening this weekend, and we've designed an obstacle course for them. And we went to assess it and see it and trial it out. And at the same time, we are I'm doing this on webinar on a weekend. It doesn't feel like work for me. It's not extra work because I found my why, I found my purpose, I found my dharma. And if I was doing this when I was in banking and I had to go in on a Saturday, I would not be too pleased that I've gone in on a Saturday to do this. So making your health optimal is about finding your why and operating daily aligned with your why. Prioritizing and optimizing your well-being will just become common sense, because of course I want the best version body and best version mind to deliver upon and execute upon what I'm doing. Now, how do we do this? I'm going to share over the next few slides some of the technical content we have in our program. So first things first is, if your mind already has a preconceived notion of what the program entails, you won't learn anything new today. And if you join the FitBanker Challenge already with an expectation of something you've done or a diet you've tried, or I've heard that before, I saw that on Instagram, that too will be a blocker. It will fill your mind already with an expectation of how to do it or how it should be done or shouldn't be done. But what we're talking about here is, how do you empty your mind, give up what you already know, so you could be filled and learn something new, something that you didn't know to be mindful of. So empty your cup so that it may be filled. So a lot of people who've joined the program tell me that I've tried this and I've tried that, and they lose a little bit. They get slightly closer to optimal health, and then they volley back. They return back to the starting point. Some of the things people said they've tried that haven't worked for them is they've done a fad or yo-yo diet. They starve or suppress themselves, or they eat what they want, and then they think, I can just exercise more or run on the weekend. That isn't the answer. Or they might say that it's my healthcare system. Hey, I don't need to take care about my health, because if anything happens wrong with me, I will go to the doctors. I will go to the hospital. The NHS will sort me out. But what we're saying is, you should learn all how your body works. You should understand what's going on in your body. How is suddenly pieces of matter being attached to you? Where is that coming from? How does it convert? How does the food you convert know whether it goes to fat, or whether it goes to muscle, or it goes to energy expended, or it goes to waste? How do you know that? How can you rewire your body such that you control where that goes? The first thing we do is, in our body, we have an inflammatory response. There are foods that are inflammatory in nature, that when we consume them, they create a blood sugar spike, an insulin response, which creates an inflammatory marker of fat and energy. And so what you see here is that there's certain foods we eat, like cornflakes for cereal, or Frosties like I would have, or Wheat Bix, or you have a snack bar at 11 or 10 a.m. And each of those foods creates blood sugar spike and then a crash, blood sugar spike and a crash. And every time it goes above a certain number, it releases insulin. When insulin is released, insulin creates an inflammatory response in your body, and it creates what we call stubborn fat. Now, how do you get rid of that? Well, remove those inflammatory foods and eat foods that are rich in fiber, rich in good fats, rich in protein. And those foods will allow us to have more steady and stable energy throughout the day, so we can be more focused, more reliably productive, and we don't have a lot of that fluctuation in our energy. And so the first step is to remove those foods, remove and avoid that inflammation, and then incorporate healthier foods that contribute to us. So we're going to talk about that. Now, if the foods we've been eating create this, where did they come from? If you look at your textbooks in school, what we're taught to eat, what was called the balanced diet, even if you go to the NHS or the .gov.uk website, it's telling you how to eat this way. We should all eat X amount of starches, potato, bread, cereal, porridge, X amount of dairy, X amount of beans, lentils, legumes, X amount of vegetables and fruits. But it's telling everybody one piece of information. And while the intention is good, because this was simplified in the 70s and 80s as a message to put out there, what this has done is we've been all told we need all of this in our diet. But it's not true. If you're somebody that's overweight and you have too much fat, why would you be adding more of what contributes to the fat? Why would you, if you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, why would you have foods that contribute to the bad cholesterol or the blood pressure? So what we say in the FitBanker Challenge, Transformative Health, is understand you on the different facets of you. Understand your lifestyle. If you have a sedentary job, sat at a desk, versus a bricklayer, why would you be having the same foods? A bricklayer needs more energy to spend, whereas you sat at a desk will need a lot less physical energy to spend, but stuff that will give you and keep you mentally alert. You're different by body type. And by body type means we have what's called an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph body type. You're different by functional eating. Like, we want you to learn how to eat functionally. There are foods that contribute to your performance, to your function. And if you learn how to eat according to your function, then you will know, hey, I've done a big exercise now. I need food that will rebuild my muscle. Hey, I'm sitting today, I'm sedentary today, I'm not that active. I don't need to put so much fuel in my body. We also different by body composition, which is underneath your skin. We all have fat, we all have muscle, we all have bone. How much do you have? What should the optimal percentage be? How can you measure that? And then how do you create a plan that goes from, hey, I've got 40% fat, I need to bring it down to 30%. How do you lose 10% body fat? And there's a formula to that. There is a mode of measuring it and calculating it. And then we're different by varying muscle groups, which is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We're not just working on the physical, but we're working on the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And we talk about emotional habits and mental habits that contribute to optimizing our well-being. So one of the first things to do to build those new habits, we have to take out what's in there, which is empty our brain. In my brain, I had a limiting belief called life is unfair, right? And I had a view, that's my fiance Ambika, when we were engaged, our engagement drinks, and we're out partying, and we could both eat and drink loads. And she would eat loads, drink more than me, and she could bungra and party the night away. Whereas I would feel tired, I'd feel lethargic, I'd feel sluggish, and I was very clear, like, oh man, life is so unfair. Why did I get this body? And how come she can party the night away? What I didn't know, what was never taught to us, never taught to me, is that we all have different body types. And according to Ayurveda, which is a 5,000-year-old science, we have Vata, Pitta, and Kapha body types. And in Western science, we call it ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. And the body type tells you what foods work better for you, what foods to avoid, more importantly, and what activity or sport will you perform better in, whereas others you might find hard or difficult to execute upon. I mentioned earlier about body composition. Underneath our skin, we have that, what you see on screen, which is there's fat around our bones, there's muscle around our bones, and there might be too much of it, more than we need, or it might be too little, and we need to increase the muscle mass, as an example. So how do you reduce the fat? How do you increase the muscle? And how do you get to what the optimal percentage should be that has been seen at that level contributes to peak human performance? So we use two apps to record and track this. The first one is called MyFitnessPal. And if you're joining the program, which is starting 2 Mondays from now, I'll take a screenshot of this. MyFitnessPal and Runkeep, you should download these two apps. And this is where you'll be using these as a tool to record and track what you consume, how many calories you consume, what foods you consume, how much of those are protein, calories, carbs, and fat. Then as you consume those, you will then be working on optimizing your nutrition to match your goals, to match your reduction in fat if you need to reduce fat, or increase your muscle mass if you need to increase your muscle mass. And Runkeeper is where you record your activity, your walks, your runs, your workouts, they all get tracked there. When you sync these two together on MyFitnessPal, it will show you at the end of the day whether you have overeaten, which means you have bulked up, so you've consumed more calories than you're burning. That's called bulking up. Or you've created a deficit, which is, in this case, this person has an 864 calorie deficit. Now, to lose 1 pound of fat, we have to create collectively a 3,500 calorie deficit. It's very hard to do that in one day, unless you join me on Mount Kilimanjaro, and I'm going back in 8 weeks. But we can't do that every day. So how do we do this spread out over a week? We do 500 calorie deficits a day. And at the end of the week, you've achieved a 3,500 calorie deficit. If you can consistently do that for a week, you've nailed it. You've lost 1 pound of fat. What we don't do is we don't undereat. We don't skip meals. We don't want you to starve yourself. We do introduce intermittent fasting, and we tell you how to do it properly, not where you're starving yourself sporadically or haphazardly. We want you to understand how it's done the proper way. We will then coach you on how to trigger thermogenesis, which is, are you working out to a point whereby you're pushing to a level where you trigger breathlessness, you raise your body temperature by breaking sweat, and the third point is, are you raising your heart rate to about 70% of your maximum heart rate? At 70% of your maximum heart rate, your body goes into a state where it has to break down fat cells to release energy. And that process is called thermogenesis. And so we want you to know how you can do that. You can get to that point in as little as 7 minutes with a 7-minute HIIT workout, which is what you see on screen, or you can do it up to 40 minutes or even 60 minutes in a workout. And so what we want you to know is how to do that, how to understand how you can do that effectively. We offer free workouts actually. So there's a workout group. You can ask Poonam to add you to, or whoever introduced you to add you to that particular group. It's a WhatsApp group, but on Facebook, you can also search and join. On Facebook, these workouts are streamed live, just like we are on this call, and this is being streamed live on YouTube. When we share this, people can watch this on catch up. We share our workouts on that group on Facebook, and people can do our workouts for free. Even if you're not part of the challenge, the reason we say to you, the workouts and the nutrition alone don't make a difference if you don't take care of the other 4 pillars. And so we want you to understand the other 4 pillars. And the other 4 pillars is what makes a real difference. And that's why we can give our workouts away for free. In addition to the live workouts, we also provide you with workout plans. And we talk to you about the psychology of consistently doing more. One of the psychology of staying consistent is sharing what you're doing, checking in, reporting, sharing with your team, or sharing on social media. There is a philosophy, or a psychologist he was, that says, I'm not who you think I am. I'm not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Which is, most of us, we tend to show up and operate. So Marine, if you're doing a certain job, you're doing that job because you think your parents are proud of you doing that particular type of job or business. You think if your role is to be at home and society expects that of you, you will continue to do what you think society expects of you as a mom or a parent. You take your kids to a particular school or on particular holidays, or socialize or don't socialize a certain way. You'll think that's what my society, my religion, my culture, my country expects of me. If that's true, we can use the same reverse psychology and project onto the world to say, hey, now I'm taking on my challenge. So we ask people, when you sign up to the program, tell 10 people, guys, I've signed up to a program, and the program that I've signed up to, we have to do the following and avoid the following for the next 90 days. So please don't take offense if I come to your house and I don't eat any fried foods and I don't have any sugars. You're likely, by telling the world what you're up to, you're likely to be more consistent in your goal. You're likely to push harder and further. You'll be more diligent and disciplined. And then you'll start to create a new perception of you. You will alter the way your friends and family see you, which is, oh, wow, Marine is now into her well-being. She's eating well. All right, guys, we prepared today's picnic. Make sure we've got some options for Marine. And this is one of the doctors that did it. And this doctor was on call. He's always busy. He has long hours of work, yet he always found time to take on his well-being and his workout. And as he took that on, he would share on social media. And the more he shared that, the more he was consistent and regular to keep it up and keep in shape. Now, the biggest hurdle to transformation is, as I'm inviting you to take on this challenge, your brain and mind's job is to keep the body safe. So if I'm asking you to suddenly walk more steps than you used to, or I'm asking you to sign up to something that you haven't been coached on a program like this before, your job of your mind is to basically say, look, I want to go back to what's familiar. Look, I know what time to wake up. I know what time I sleep. I love the foods that I love. Please don't tell me to change all this stuff. So your brain is trying to do that to your body. Your brain is also muscle. It's trying to pull your body back to familiar, back to comfort, back to least resistance. It's also a form of self-sabotage. So your brain is supposed to work to make you better, to serve you, but instead it's making you more comfortable rather than better. And you will say things during your challenge like, hey, I get too busy, Ronnie, you don't understand, it's hard being a mom, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources to do XYZ. People say that and they sabotage their performance. As they're just about to step into something good and great, they're like, hang on, let me think about it. It's why we're masters of procrastination. It's also why we over-reward ourselves, right? Which is, we're like, hey, I've done this workout in the gym, I burned 300 calories. And then you go and consume 800 calories in Starbucks with a coffee and a big croissant and a muffin. And you're like, hey, the gym's not working. It's not that the gym's not working, it's that you are going to the Starbucks and the cafe that's working against you, reversing your progress. And so we want you to not over-reward and sabotage your performance. And I've now shared a lot of information on how the FitBanker Challenge works. In a moment, I'll pause to take some questions. But before I do that, what I want you to know is we're not delivering information on this challenge. This is not a program about how to, or here's the knowledge you need. Because information is everywhere. It makes no difference. A lot of what I said you might have heard elsewhere. You could even find it on Google. But Aristotle, the philosopher, said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So how do you form that habit? Habit is formed when you first commit and take a new course of action. Then you surround yourself and immerse yourself inside an empowering environment, inside an inspiring community that's around you. Surround yourself with inspiring community that are doing the things regularly that you want to do. So if you heard about this from somebody, from a mom at school, you heard about this from somebody you know, they inspired you. They shared something about their new lifestyle, or you saw something like she's just not the same. There's a glow to her. There's a new skip in her step. There is a new smile. Her energy is a lot more better. Something about that inspired you and you had a conversation. So our environment, our community, and our conversations, we have a lot of conversations each week. They create your daily, weekly habits, and that is what keeps you accountable. And when you sign up to the FitBanker Challenge, which I am inviting you to join, and the next one is starting in a few days' time. It starts, today's the 8th of July, it's starting on the 24th of July. But you need to prepare, you need to order, get ready, you need to sign up for it. There are 10 webinars which will be delivered much like this. There will be a body type assessment that you do based on Ayurveda and bodybuilding. There will be meal plan ideas that you'll be given like this. This is just a screenshot of only the lunch options, but you will be given the same for breakfast, for dinner, snack options, and so on. There will be training programs that you get provided also by PDF. And you can sign up at fitbanker.com/go. So this is the website to sign up. Before you do that, I want to let you know as well, in addition, like I mentioned about the free workouts, when lockdown started, people were training from home. So we decided to run free workouts for 3 weeks. Like, we are paying trainers to run them. And now we've been running them for 3+ years, over 3.5 years, almost 3.5 years, we've been running these workouts. And we get to, you can train from the gym, you can train outdoors, you can train at home using our workouts or the PDFs that we send you. You get to be part of a private online FitBanker community on Facebook, which is called FitBanker Campus. And you will be assigned a coach, and that coach will have a team with you. In addition to the coach, the webinars are run and delivered by me or by Ambika or one of our senior coaches. And then you get to have Q&A with me or one of the coaches every Friday. Friday lunch and Friday night surgeries. They're called Friday night surgeries, where we do hot seat coaching with me or ask your Q&As. And so there is so much offered each week to support you through your journey. But I want to share very quickly before I invite you to sign up and take any questions. We exist as a health organization. This here is a photo of a lady that got gestational diabetes after having a third born. She was told she won't be around for her third born's 10th birthday. And she called us crying, "I'd love to do your program, but I have to spend on medication and insurance." Instead, she chose to squeeze a little bit and sign up to the challenge. In the first month of the program, after she removed those inflammatory foods from her diet, they tested her bloods and she was given the all clear that she's no longer pre-diabetic. She did the FitBanker Challenge, lost about 14 kg. She worked as a phlebotomist in the lab that diagnosed her as a diabetic, and then she quit that job and went into work into real estate. And this is an example of what's possible when you take on your health and transform your lifestyle. There are people who have done the program to support their fertility journey. This is a lady that struggled with fertility. They had one child through IVF, and they've allowed us to share that story. And after having that one child, they wanted number 2, and they found it hard to conceive. They went to the IVF clinic. The IVF clinic said, "We can't work with you, Ushma, till you work on losing your weight." And she went and tried everything, lost 3 kg, went back to the clinic after a year, and they said, "Sorry, that 3 kg is not enough. You need to lose more." So she does the program. Within the first 8 weeks or so, she's lost about 8 or 9 kg. By end of the program, 11 or 12 kg. She's approved to start the IVF process. And they wanted one more. They successfully conceived and had twins. And after having the twins, because they were told they could never conceive naturally, they kept doing what they do, having, whatever nocturnal activities they do to reproduce. And then they ended up conceiving naturally for the first time, unplanned, shortly after they had the twins. And so she went from one child to having 4 kids right away within a window of about 20 months. And I joke with her to say, faster than a BMW, which was amazing. And then there is this guy, Jagdish Bhai, 73-year-old, diabetic, joins our program. he had a visceral fat of 20, which is what you see there, which means the amount of fat that's layering his organs, like his heart, his liver, his stomach, and so on, his blood vessels. He does the program. He's about 19 kilos lighter overall since from his heaviest. He's brought his visceral down to 9, which is a safe level. And he was on 4 diabetic medicines called metformin, 4 tablets a day. He's now down to 1 a day. And he's on that one because the doctors asked him to stay on it as a precautionary measure. And there isn't harm with him taking it at that level. He gets to, people get to now live a life and be more dad or be more granddad being around. And some people have done this to boost their confidence. This is Viera. She lost 18.8 kg in 90 days. Now she's 35 kilos lighter. Then there is Vijay. He lost 25 plus kg in 90 days. And after him came this guy called JC, who's lost 26.3 kg, taking on his health as well. So all of these are examples of how you can optimize and transform your health and your life simply by starting with your health. And it's a big boost to your confidence and your relationship with yourself. That's me before, that's me after. Before, I had no plan. I said, I'll do what I want to do. I know what's moderate and acceptable and considered fine. And this is me after transforming my health. And so nobody ever wrote down a plan to be fat, overweight, and well, but that is what happened to me and what happens to most when we don't have a plan. Whatever we do on a daily basis becomes our plan, and that isn't optimal for us. So I'm here to talk about the group 90-day program, which is at the bottom there. The full price for the program is £100 a week, which comes out to £1,299 for the 13 weeks program. But instead, we are running right now a mega early bird offer. So with you being on the webinar, there's an opportunity. There are limited packs available of this for $497. That's the full price for the 90 days. After the first 90 days, if you choose to continue, it's at £210 thereafter. The next program starts on 24th July. And yeah, I would invite you to sign up. Those of you listening in, sign up at fitbanker.com/go. Marina, I would invite you to sign up today to join the program. And if you have any questions about the program, I will happily take them now. Any questions around the sign up or anything else around the content we cover on the program, please do ask.
Yeah, no, I will sign up today and I really want to join this program. And after joining the program, then how it will start and how it will go.
What are the
I
next
don't
steps?
know, you're saying like we will give you the measurements and everything and
Yeah.
my weight and everything. And you will be testing, and then I will download 2 apps also.
Yeah, you download those 2 apps, and after you sign up, you'll receive an email right away called What Next. And in that What Next email, you'll be given some recommended proteins to order. You can find them also in Kenya. You will get a body composition scale. You can either buy one and keep it at home, or if you're in Nairobi, you can go to Healthy You, and a few other places have those scales. Hotpoint has them. Carrefour has some of those scales. You can order these scales or buy them from there. The scale needs to give you 3 things: your body fat, your muscle mass, and your visceral fat. And you measure yourself, and then on day 1, you'll take a before photo for you to keep with you on your phone, and you can share it with us on the WhatsApp group later. You'll then get a link to join a WhatsApp group, and on the WhatsApp group, we'll send the updates of the next steps to take. And so on Monday, 24th July, we have a meet and greet call. That's where we'll have a call, and we'll share it on the WhatsApp group, the link to join the Zoom call, where we welcome everybody, tell you what to expect on the challenge, how it will work. And on the Thursday that week, we have the first webinar called Webinar 1. And on Webinar 1, we will share with you how the program works. We will share with you content, some of the limiting beliefs. We'll cover limiting beliefs, some of the basics around movement and nutrition expected. After you get the What Next email, about 30 minutes later, you'll get another email called Your Challenge Takes Off Like a Boeing 747. And on there, it will explain what's expected over the program. So over the program, every week, we expect you to do 10,000 steps per day. 4 days of the week, we want you to go and do some form of resistance-based training. You can do that from home with our live workouts. You can train from home by yourself or get a PT to come home, or you go to the gym. Now, that is only like 5 to 10% of the program. What makes the difference is really understanding the science and how we make it last by making this part of your routine and your lifestyle. And that happens by your participation and attendance to the webinars, joining the coaching calls, leveraging the
True.
Friday series. That's where you'll get the most out of the program.
True. I agree with it.
Okay, awesome. So will you be signing up? Are you going to be signing up today?
Yes, yes, yes. I want to.
Okay.
And then it will start from 24th of July.
It starts from 24th, but you have to start doing the setup now. There are already people there. There's already a WhatsApp group. So you can,
Uh-huh.
if you have any questions, you can call on WhatsApp or message. Ideally, call on WhatsApp if it's urgent, just with the payment process, or else you can message me. I'll just put my number there.
Okay.
Okay. So it's in the chat, and if you message me there, you can save that number, and I will
Okay.
also just add it to you on Instagram. You can message me there if it's anything urgent. But once you've done your sign up, let me know, because I need to ensure that you get the link to join the WhatsApp group. And
Okay.
once you've joined, look forward to working with you once the program starts, and for you being part of the FITBANKER family. And in Nairobi, we've got one of the largest communities globally, so you will have
Oh,
so many
okay.
people there. Yeah, we have about 150 people in Kenya alone, in Nairobi.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there's a WhatsApp group where you will join and be part of that.
Uh-huh.
So I want to leave you with this quote by the Dalai Lama, which really inspired me, and is why I'm grateful I took action when I did rather than procrastinating. When asked what surprised him most about humanity, the Dalai Lama answered, "Man, because he sacrifices his health in order to make money, then he
True.
sacrifices money to recuperate his health." And that's what I did the hard way. I ended up in hospital, and
True.
I'm now holding on to my money and my job to ensure if there are big bills or some big surgery happens or I need to pay insurance, I have the money for that. And then I would have lived my life, if I didn't transform, I'd live my life very anxious, not knowing how my body works, anxious about the future,
Mm.
whether I'd be around and well, that I wouldn't enjoy my life. But ever since I took on my health, I've got to enjoy my life. And the result being, when they don't enjoy their life, as the Dalai Lama says, that he does not live in the present or the future. He lives as if he's never going to die. And then human beings die, having never really lived life. And so we want people to really live life to their fullest. And that's why we do so much within the FitBanker community. You'll see once you join that there are trekking groups in Kenya through FitBanker. There are global trekking
Okay.
groups. There's a retreat happening this September if you want to come with your son in Lanzarote in Spain. So it's a great opportunity for people to come together, spend a week in sport and adventure, and for us to really meet the global community as well. So any final
Oh, no,
questions, Nareen?
yeah. No, no, no. I just love this, all the program and about all this, how you are doing it. 7 pillars. Also, you have showed how the mind and then everything, 6 pillars, like how it coordinates and everything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love to join it. And then we will see.
Okay, so you've got the link fitbanker.com/go, or you can still go to fitbanker.com on our website and it will tell you the button to sign up now. And yeah, on that note, I just want to thank you for being on. Thank you to anybody listening in.
Yeah.
Forward to having you join the FitBanker community at the next available challenge, and looking forward to connecting with you all.
And hope this link, the one where I have to sign up, is there on the Instagram or where it is?
Yeah, I'll send it to you on Instagram as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Anchor.com/go, and it's in the bottom left of the screen. But on that